So again, today we're dealing with scale drawings. We're going to look at number 2 first. It says an engineer makes a model of a bridge using a scale of 1 inch to 3 yards. The length of the actual bridge is 50 yards. What is the length of the model? Our rule is this. We always go ahead and write scale equals length. And then we try to follow that, as in we take and put the scale on the left-hand side. So the scale was 1 inch. Make sure you put your labels to 3 yards. This is going to equal. Now, what I want you to do is make sure your labels are the same. So if it was inches on the top here, then you would have that here, and then yards below. And then you reread the problem. It says the length of the actual bridge is 50 yards. So of course, if it says 50 yards, you're going to put it next to the yards here. Therefore, we're trying to find x up there. Now, we're going to go ahead and do cross products. We're going to end up with, I'm going to write it over here, 3x equals 50. Okay? Now, to get x by itself, we're going to divide by 3, cancel. And x equals, 3 goes into 50 16 times with 2 left over. So you could write it as 16 2/3, or it could be 16.6 repeating, or it could be 16.7 if you round to the nearest 10th.
I got 16.6.
And then we're going to go ahead and make sure we have a label. Your label is whatever was next to the x. So next to the x was inches, therefore my answer is going to have inches. So the drawing of this actual bridge would be 16 2/3 inches long. All right. The next one we're going to look at is number 3. We did cross off some extra information for the time being just because of the time, but I do want you to try to write 1 inch representing 2 feet as a scale factor. A scale factor needs to have them both in the same type of units. So for example, if it's 1 inch over 2 feet, we want them to both have the same label. So either inches over inches or feet over feet. What would be easier, to change the inches to feet or the feet to inches? Yes? Good. So we're going to keep the top one the same. This one's still going to be 1 inch. However, the bottom needs to be in inches. How do you change 2 feet to inches? What do you think? 2 feet to inches.
3 times 2 by 12.
Why 12? Why did you choose 12?
Because 12 inches are in a foot.
Perfect. And if we have 2 of them, 2 times 12 is 24. Now, can we reduce 1/24th? To write those scale factor, you need to cross off your labels, and you're left with 1/24th as your scale factor. Now, that problem did have some other questions, but that was the only thing I asked you guys to try to solve.